Hi, my name is Nicole, and this is the CK Diary podcast. Hey guys, I hope you are having a great week. It is good to be back. I'm going to talk more about this stuff and life stuff, but I took a little week break last week and it was nice, and I'm excited to be back. I took a break from knitting as well for most of last week. I knit a little bit on the weekend, but I'm excited to be knitting again, and I'm excited to be here again. Right now, my focus, and I know I talked about this in my previous podcast this year in 2025, but my main focus right now is clearing off all of my needles, all of the whips that I have. I've got a little basket right next to me with all of my whips in it, and I just want to clear off the needles so that I can do some of the projects that I want to do without having the distraction of left behind whips. I feel unsettled whenever I have things that are undone. Sometimes I don't. Typically I do though. It usually bothers me. So I'm trying to clear those off. Right now, the 4 main whips that I'm working on, and I know I went over this list a few podcasts ago, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 whips that are just sitting, that are undone. Of those 9, I have 2 blankets that one of the blankets might take me a little bit longer. One of the blankets I'd really like to get done by June because it's for my mother-in-law. I'd love to give it to her for her birthday. If you've watched my other podcast, you know that I've been struggling with that temperature blanket for some time. It is a single crochet temperature blanket. It's 250 single crochet stitches per row, and then obviously 365 rows. So, well, a little bit more than that because I'm doing 2 rows in between each month of a neutral color just to kind of break up the months a little bit. So it's just a lot. And, but anyway, so of those 9 whips that I have listed that I'd like to finish before summer, or before summer-ish, like around June or July or whatever, I have 4 projects that I'm currently working on, keeping in the rotation, keeping out, not keeping in my basket. I keep them, like I'll have one in the car, I have one in my bag, maybe one in the living room. I just keep them out and about so I can work on them throughout the day. One is my Sophie Shawl by Petite Knit. One is Grumblewood Cottage by Sarah Shearer. Her Instagram is Imagined Landscapes, and I think she has a couple of books that are Imagined Landscapes as well. The Coziest Memories Blanket by Kemper Ray, and Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop by Kay Liddon. I only have 1 vanilla sock project going currently. Well, I guess that's not true. I know I talked about my MIA projects. I have 2 sock projects, and I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where they went. I've looked everywhere. I even went up to my amenity center in my neighborhood and looked in the lost and found. I imagine nobody's seeing a bag with a half knit sock in it and taking it. I could possibly see someone throwing it away. Hopefully not. Hopefully they would have turned it in, but I just can't find it anywhere, and I'm hoping they pop up. But right now I'm just working on them as I feel like it, and my goal is to go into next year with no whips or 1 whip that I'm currently actively working on. I do like the idea of having 1 big project, like a blanket, and then 1 small project or smaller project. Like I feel like a sweater for my boys would count as a smaller project. I'm okay with having 2 things if it's like that, but I don't want just a bunch of random little whips. I want to start finishing something before I start something else. I've also been only trying to buy yarn as I go. So like yarn as I need it. I have a specific project in mind, so then I buy yarn for that project. The whips that I focused on, this past week, I didn't really do a whole lot of knitting, but whenever I was knitting, these were what I worked on. I did my Coziest Memories blanket by Kemper. Go ahead and show you that first. My yarn, I'm just using various different scraps and minis that I've gotten. A lot of like Chelsea yarn minis, scraps from her Valentine box last year, and a lot of Emma's Yarns minis are in here that I buy whenever I go visit local yarn shops. And then also a lot of the pinks that you see in here. I know, I'm trying to think, this one for sure. A couple of the pinks, this one too, down here, are the Polka Dot Creek blanket yarn from last year. They were just some scraps I had left over from my Coziest Memories blanket, my DK weight one, which I think I'm gonna take away. I didn't list that on my list of whips because I'm going to undo that and use that yarn for something else. I don't know what yet, but I like the thickness of the fingering weight blanket more than the DK weight, and I think I'll get more use out of it here in Florida. And let's see, I'm using size 2 needles for this, 2.75 millimeters, and this is all fingering weight yarn. And most of it, if not all of it, is 75% merino, 25% nylon. All right, and then the other whip that I worked on this week, and I actually got a lot of it done. I picked it up on Sunday and I was knitting on it during church, and I got a lot of it done over the weekend. And I started on the roof today. So this is the Grumblewood Cottage by Sarah Shira. Let's see, where's the little, I want to find the spot that has the door. So there's like a specific spot that I'm going to put my door and my windowsill or my window in. So this is, it's like a little box, so you can see on the bottom how it goes out, and then these the garter stitches there are the beginning of the wall, so it'll curve up, and then once I stuff it, it'll sit flat. And then I started my rooftop here, and my yarn is Palette by Knit Picks. This is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It is fingering weight yarn. I get 231 yards out of 50 grams, and this is worked in the colorway Finley, which is like an icy gray color, and then this red color. You can't really see it on here. I haven't done a whole lot yet. This is Current, which if you've watched previous podcasts, you already know that I love the Current colorway by Knit Picks. I used it for my vest, and I've used it for a couple of other projects too. So those were my 2 whips that I primarily worked on this week, and I'm loving. I did not think I was gonna like knitting. I hated crocheting stuffed animals and stuffed things. It hurt my hands, with crocheting like amigurumi, things like that. You have to use a really small hook for whatever gauge yarn you're using, or whatever weight yarn you're using rather, so that you get a really tight gauge, so the stuffing doesn't fall out. But it killed my hands, and I really enjoy knitting stuffed animals. It doesn't hurt my hands the way that crocheting stuffed things did. I feel like knitting stuffed animals can be a little bit more complicated. I think I've only done this and the gnome that I made. I think those are the only knitted stuffed animals that I've done. But I feel like the process is a little bit more complicated, but I also like the product better. All right, and let's see what else I have here. I wrote down everything today because I feel like I've been so scatterbrained. I don't have any finished objects to share with you because, like I said, I've just been picking up my whips as I go and working on what I want to work on. I haven't been really focused on finishing a single project out of my whips. I've just been trying to get them done slowly but surely as I go. I'm hoping that my cottage will be done soon though, because I'm excited to have that stuffed and give it to my boys. They're really excited for it too. They helped me pick the roof color. All right, so life stuff. I took a break last week because I was having some health things going on. I ended up going to the doctor and everything was fine. It was nothing, but I just get like some health anxiety sometimes. I'm having a lot of like sinus issues and weird things going on with my ears. I still am. I'm waiting for the ENT to call me so that they can look inside my head and see what's going on. But my physician wasn't worried about it, so that made me feel better. But last week, I had been really stressed out about it the week prior. And I went to the doctor on Monday and she told me everything was fine. And so all last week, I was just like trying to get back to normal. We went to the beach like 4 times. I took my boys strawberry picking. We went to the park and had a picnic with our homeschool group. So we just did a lot of outside time. Being outside always makes me feel better. I feel like whenever I'm inside, I just think more about things. But whenever I'm outside, I kind of forget everything. Like, not forget everything, but I worry less whenever I'm outside. So we've been trying to go outside a bunch. I plan on going outside a bunch this week too. This is our county spring break this week, so I know everything's going to be super busy. So if we go to the beach or do anything at our amenity center, we're going to have to go early. And today was kind of cold. It's 60 right now, and it was in the 50s this morning up until recently. So we didn't do a beach trip today, but maybe tomorrow it'll warm up a little bit. It was raining all day yesterday, and I think it rained some on Saturday too. So, and today's Monday. I didn't say that. You guys will be watching this tomorrow on Tuesday. But I'm hoping it'll warm up a little bit tomorrow. Last week was really, really nice days every day. It was between like 68 and 75 all week last week. So it was really nice. All right, and for reading and watching, I just started this book today. It's called The Things We Cannot Say by Kelly Rimmer. I'm not even through the first chapter yet, but it's a book that takes place in 1942, and from what I've gathered so far about the book, she's getting married, and they are hearing rumors that the Germans are going to invade Poland. But none of her neighbors are worried about it, so she's not worried about it. But it seems like it's a historical fiction. It seems like a really good read. From what I read on Goodreads, it said that if you like historical fiction, this is a fantastic book. But even if you just like very descriptive characters and great character building, this is a great book to read. So I'm excited about that. And then we're just watching Chuck still, where I think we're almost on the last season, if not on the last season. And it's still a cute show. I mean, it's a little silly sometimes, I don't know if you've watched it, but the premise of the show is that like a computer is downloaded onto his head, and then he helps the CIA fight bad guys. And, the deeper you get into the show, a little bit more ridiculous it gets, but it's still funny and cute. And I like it. And the only thing we have left today to do is the spotlight pattern of the day. All right, I'm just gonna share my screen here with you guys. All right, today our spotlight pattern is The Wee Evergreens by Sarah Shira. I'm hoping I'm saying her name right. So this is published in the Imagine Landscapes book. It is about $6.53 USD. You can see that there. Trying to think. I think I already bought it. I think that's why it's not giving me the option to purchase it. So this is my next step in the little gnome village that I'm making for the boys. This is what they picked for me to make next. And I thought I would share it here with you today. Let's go ahead and look at some pictures really quick first. I just think these are so precious. My boys are obsessed with conifer trees right now, and I believe evergreens are a conifer tree. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, these are just super sweet. They're gonna have like their whole little village, and my oldest son is super excited about it, which makes me super excited because I was worried that maybe I missed the prime time, but it seems like right now is the prime time. All right, let's read a little bit more about these. So she uses Nip Pick Stroll Tweed, and Knit Picks Chroma worsted. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, okay. She does use fingering weight. I'm trying to think. I wonder what the worsted is for, because that's what I bought. I'll show you my basket of yarns really quick. I've got a couple of other things in here. Let me take those out. So this is my, it's a little messy right now. This is my Gnome Village yarn. It's all of the palette yarn that I got for all of their Gnome Village stuff. And I'm sure I'll have to fill in and use and get some other colors too. I don't know if the blue is in here. Okay, here's the blue. This was what I was going to use for the roof of their cottage, but they chose the red instead. Let's see. So, I started scrolling down. So she uses 2.25 millimeter needles, which is what I've been using. And then the 4.0 millimeter needles for that worsted. Let me see. See below for worsted. Oh, okay, I see. So you just have two different options. There's an option for fingering weight and an option for worsted, I guess. Okay, let's read about it, see what it says. Bringing a little bit of nature to life is very satisfying. Plant these trees across your mantle, bring them out at Christmas, or use them as a forest for your children's toys. I've provided 2 yarn weights and 2 finishing options here, with and without the wrapped cord. Okay, I was thinking that was an I-cord wrapped around. Wondering how you attach it. This says, but once you start, you will see how easily, you will easily see how to do them in other weights and with modifications to make them delightful. I'm really looking forward to your creativity, or should I say creativity. All right, so they have tiny, medium, and large, and she gives you the option. She has 2 different options in there for fingering weight or worsted weight, which is, I got kind of nervous whenever I saw the worsted weight because I bought a bunch of this green fingering weight yarn. I think I got 3 or 4 skeins of this. It's the Palette and Douglas Fir. It's a really beautiful evergreen green. All right, and let's see. I might have to get a lighter green too. I wonder if I bought one. I feel like I did get like a different colored green. Oh, okay. Well, I don't really like the way these look together. Maybe, I don't know. This one, I also got Aurora Heather, which is a lighter green, maybe more like a royal green, and this like a forest green. But I really like the way this looks here with the I-cord wrapped around, the lighter color I-cord wrapped around, but that looks nice too with the same color. We'll see whenever I get there. All right, and she has here like the approximate yardage and everything. You guys can see that on the screen here. She has a video tutorial for the I-cord, or for sewing down the cord, which is nice. That was one of the questions I had whenever I was looking through. Skills used: knit and purl in the round, knit 2 together, knit 3 together, knit front and back, I-cord or crochet chain. So all pretty simple stuff. If you haven't knit an I-cord, I feel like it sounds intimidating, but it's very easy. Whenever I first heard it, I felt like it sounded intimidating, but it's a very easy process. So is like an I-cord bind off or I-cord, I forget what you call it, like while you knit, like in the petite knits, Sophie shawl or Sophie scarf, she does the I-cord edge while you knit, all very easy stuff. But yeah, I quite like this. I bought, I don't use the pellets, so she suggests using weighted stuffing at the bottom of whatever you're knitting, so for the Grumblewood Cottage and then also for the Gnome, so that it can kind of stand up on its own. I didn't do that because my kids tend to throw their toys and I don't want them to knock each other out. And they also like to sleep with the stuffed animals, and it'd be kind of hard to sleep with them if they were, or uncomfortable to sleep with them if they were hard on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen now. Yeah, I typically like to leave the weighted stuffing out of it so that they can snuggle with them at night and everything and not be uncomfortable. But that is it for my podcast today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm excited to start recording some content again and posting on my Instagram and on here more regularly, and getting back into knitting a little bit. I know it was only a week that I didn't knit, but I feel like I've been knitting so much these last couple of years, or this last not even couple of years, like year and a couple of months, that it felt weird to take a week off from it. But again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.